Hello and good morning. Today we are doing blood work. So this is week 11. I did my blood work last week, so I guess on week 10. I'm going to tell you how I messed it up and how what's going on inside this carnivore lion diet thing that Evan and I are doing, and what does my blood look like. Now, I am not a doctor. What I'm about to tell you is a bunch of crap, apparently, because I didn't sleep in a Holiday Express and I don't have a medical degree. And listening to other people and telling you my story, apparently if I say anything that sounds like it's medical advice, that's like crap, right? I can only tell you anecdotally what I'm seeing. So for whatever reason, you just can't tell people, hey, this is why I'm healthy. You have to put in all these disclaimers. And I don't get it. Seriously. If my kids were to ask me, Dad, what should I do? I would tell them exactly what I'm doing right now. And they're going to be freaking healthy. So for you, hey man, go talk to your doctor first and then come talk to me. Let's go do some shots and we'll figure it out. And when I say shots, I mean shots of beef. So I'm going to go through this whole thing with you. Of course, this is our podcast and YouTube channel where we want to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. We own CrossFit Garage where we work out here in Woodstock, Georgia. If you are not local, typically I would say, well, too damn bad. Go find a gym on your own. I'll help you find it. But now we have an option. Brandon Phillips and Charles and Justin and I have started Garage Fitness Online. So if you've got gear in your basement or your garage and you just simply don't use it, or you're looking for a community, yeah, we're here for you. We will help you with programming and community. We're building it out right now, so it's a bunch of fluff and crap. Although the programming is there, which is the meat of it. The part that I'm supposed to do, which is build community, is just fluff and crap because I'm still building it. A community of 3 people isn't a huge community, but we're getting there. So join in now early. Help us build it. Everyone gets 60 days free. We'll probably continue that because it doesn't cost much to get this going, especially when we're building it out. So join us. Help us figure out what it should look like. Okay, so I've spent quite a bit of time going through YouTube and watching videos on blood work, especially for carnivores. And I just wanted to show you some of my feed. So in the top bar are there's 3 things in there. Of course, Brandon, I just had to pull this up. I got to add this to our Facebook page for Garage Fitness Online. But look at his shirt. It says Meat Eater. Yeah, this is a podcast and it's a video, so I'm going to say look at his shirt, but I'll try to describe it. His shirt says Meat Eater. Damn straight, Meat Eater. Okay, so we are on this lion diet, sort of. We've adjusted it a bit. If you've been following along, Evan picked up something. They said it's probably Crohn's. We're not exactly sure, but we think so. It could be parasite. I mean, it could be a lot of stuff. So we're trying to figure out what he can eat. So in the journey of what works, we found a podcast from Michaela Peterson and her lion diet. She said, I had so many autoimmune disorders that I couldn't eat anything, but I realized that eating steak made me feel okay afterwards. So anyway, we're going down this path. Essentially, it's eat ruminant meat, salt, and water. And we've added a little bit. He keeps trying to add stuff, which doesn't really work. So it's so weird. Anyway, I finally did my blood work. I'm going to cover all of my blood work with you. And I'm also going to tell you the things that I eat. And you can eat that too. You do whatever the hell you want to do. You're an adult. Well, if you're an adult, you're an adult. But the spoiler alert, everything is fine. Eating this way for 11 weeks hasn't done anything negative to me. I sabotaged the test on accident. So here's what I did too. I took all of my results. I saw it on another guy's podcast and I was like, let me give it a shot. I threw everything in the ChatGPT. I asked it very poignant questions and then I went and did the research to look it up and say, does that actually make sense? And the answer is yes. I mean, damn. I definitely enjoy talking to intelligent people, but I know ChatGPT is generated procedural text, so it's picking the next best word. My brother would love to say it's thinking. It's not thinking. It's figuring out what goes next best most of the time. So I get it. It's not really thinking, but it kind of looks like it is. And I always say please and thank you. I don't know why. I'm just very nice to ChatGPT. Anyway, it threw out some stuff, and I questioned it a few times, and it came back. I said, yeah, I'm really pretty sure about this, and I would go look it up. And damn if it wasn't right, not pretty much, all the time. Okay, so I'm going to try to present this in a way that makes sense. It does get jumpy, because that's just who I am. But I did ask it to put things in order so I can follow the blood work and make it make sense. Okay, so I'm going to go through this. If you're watching it, I got the visual appealing ones from LabCorp, the blood draw from the doctor, and then they sent it off. It came back, and so I'm reading it now. He ordered all the extra stuff because we did this last time. I knew my cholesterol would be high, so he ordered the extra panel, which have them look at it in a microscope, which turned out that everything is awesome. Okay, so yeah, spoiler, everything is awesome. One of the weirdest things is I drink so much salt right now. I'm just curious. I put so much salt on my food and I drink so much salt. That's going to be obscenely big. And it's actually less than before. And I wasn't salting anything. So that's just weirdly stupid. So some of this, I don't really get why it's the way it is. I'm probably going to skip over some of the normal numbers. The other weird one is my testosterone was typically pretty low my whole life. So 400 or less. When I went off of caffeine, it dropped down to 200. When I went back on caffeine, it went back up to 750. The highest it was, I think, 850. And right now I'm sitting around 500, which is pretty good for a 50-year-old man. And I think some of this higher cholesterol is helping with that transport. We'll get into that in a little bit. But so if you're interested in what goes on inside the body, at least for me, this is what's happening. And let me pull up the right spot. Okay, so we're going to kick off with this NMR Lipo Profile Plus Lipids. So it's an extra test we added on there because I knew I wanted to check my cholesterol. Because last time we did it, they freaked out with such high cholesterol and had to go back and do the extra test. We just ordered it ahead of time. Okay, so what this is basically going to show you is I have a shit ton of cholesterol running through my body. Don't freak out. If you didn't have cholesterol in your body, you'd be dead. So the job of cholesterol is to repair your body, to transport hormones and to like testosterone, and to transport energy systems like fat, because I don't eat anything else. So, and I do CrossFit. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, I'll get into that. But the answer is yes, because I do CrossFit and my testosterone is higher right now. There's a lot of cholesterol in my body doing the thing that it's supposed to do. The thing that you want to look at is the sizes, and they don't normally talk about this, and I don't know why. Okay, so the LDL is the bad cholesterol. Oh no, your LDL is high, you're gonna die. It's gonna give you heart disease. So they're like, the thing that they're looking for is this LDL. It's either a large particle or a small particle. The smaller particles tend to bind up and cause your arteries and your heart and all that stuff to clog up, so that basically you end up with like a clogged artery and you're gonna die. So my buddy Cam, he actually texted and said, hey, you're going to die because of all that cholesterol. I'm like, I don't think it works the way you think it works, and this is what I'm going to explain to you. So it's LDLP, and my LDLP is 2,058. So their normal range, they're like, hey, greater than 1,000, you're in trouble. So I am way greater than 1,000. I'm double their bigger number. LDLC is 2001. Anything above 190, they're like very high in the red. I am off their chart. HDLC is 93. So they're saying the higher it goes, the better it is. They stopped measuring at 61 mg/DL. So I guess that's milligrams per deciliter, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not going to even go into units because I don't even know what most of this stuff means. I am an unfrozen caveman lawyer. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just looking at blood work like I'm smart. Well, I take that back. I am kind of smart. I'm just not smart in this. And ChatGPT is making me smart, I guess. Anyway, it's 93. So my HDL, the good one, everyone's like, oh, I got good cholesterol. All of cholesterol is good. It's the sizes that's bad. Is 93. So it's off the chart good. Okay, my triglycerides are 98. So that's way in the green. And they'll do a measurement. I think it was triglycerides divided by LDL triglycerides divided by HDL. And if it's below 2, you're fine. So there's another way to kind of track that. But I would say go get the actual measurement instead. So they're like, total cholesterol is 308, which is, again, super high. And they're like, oh, no, that's bad. All right, then you start looking at the other stuff. So the HDL-P is 38, which they're saying greater than 30, you're awesome. So I'm greater than 30, so I'm more than awesome. Here's the other fascinating part. The small, so that's the larger particle, I think. And then the small, oh no, that's the next one. So the small particle, the small LDLP, they stopped measuring at 90, and mine is less than 90. So mine was so small, they're like, we don't even know how to measure that. So I do have super high LDL cholesterol, but I have super high large particles, which is fucking awesome. So it's not to be concerning, Cam. It's to be like, dude, you got Chuck Norris in your body. That's right. I shouldn't have. Sorry, I cussed. I didn't mean to do that. Kind of meant to do that. And then the LDL size, they stopped measuring. They're like, hey, if it's greater than 20.5 nanometers, you're cool. All of mine are, they're like 22.1, so they're greater than their greater number. So it's more than awesome. It's super awesome. So basically what they're saying, if you initially did the test, it would flag me as, oh, dude, you're about to die from cardiovascular disease. And then you redo the next test, they're like, ah, shit, we were just kidding. You are super healthy. So it's a false positive, which is good that they do that because you should go and check, but just order this other test anyway. So eating this way has jumped my numbers tremendously good. Let me see if I can pull up my old numbers. Is that right? Is that it right there? Boop. Yeah, okay. So, old numbers right here. Is that my old numbers? I feel like I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let me go and check, find this. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. So, I did a test with him a year ago because I turned 50, and they're like, come in here and let me put my finger in your, whatever, and draw some blood. So we did all of that. Anyway, so about a year ago, my LDL-P was 1,300. Right now, it's 2,058. So I've doubled the number, roughly doubled the number of cholesterol running around in my body. There are reasons for that. I'm going to get into it. My LDL-C went up a bit from 139 to 201. And what was the other one? So the particle size, did I have a comparison? I do. I don't know why it doesn't show here. Let's see. Triglycerides. My triglycerides doubled, which is interesting because, well, anyway. But it doesn't matter. I should have written that one up. Why did my triglycerides double? Let's see. Particle size. Yeah, they don't give me HLP. Actually, they did. Okay, so interesting. Okay, this is fascinating. So before I was doing this carnivore stuff, I was eating pretty healthy. So basically, I don't eat processed food, I don't eat sugar, and I don't eat grain. That's what I did for the longest time, for about 15 years. And my small LDL particles were 248. Now they're less than 90. They couldn't even measure it. My LDL size was 21.4, and now it's 22.1. So I've actually gotten even more better. So basically what they're saying is eating this carnivore diet has made my body better. So you possibly could see these similar-ish results if you did this as well. So I would say, jump in this thing, right? This other one, this LP-IR score, it went from below 25 to above 44. But, and there's some buts to this, so I'm going to get into that too. Okay, so this LP-IR score, let me go and find that in my notes here. Let's see. Did I put that one in there? Okay, so I asked ChatGPT first, let me finish the cholesterol. I said, hey, so what about this and why is it big and all that? All right, it says that your LDL/P is high at 258. However, it isn't necessarily bad for these reasons. Most of your LDL particles are large, which is less likely to lead to arterial plaque buildup compared to the smaller, right? I'm sorry to talk about that. Your HDL good cholesterol is 93, and your triglycerides are low at 89. The profile is favorable for good heart. Right, the takeaway here, LDL-P is high. The combination of large LDL particles and high HDL and low triglycerides indicate low cardiovascular profile risk. So they're basically saying, yeah, you're totes for real. You're totally cool. As my kids would say, I'm podiuming, baby. I did ask for the, I'll have to come back to, let me make a note here and come back to it. All right, I made a note to come back to this LP-IR and what it means. Okay, so the next one, we slide down this list, is going to be glucose. I asked it, why is my glucose number, what about that? Why is it showing high? So it says your fasting glucose number is 94. Near the upper end, which is the tall side, is it's 70 to 99. This level is typical for someone on a low-carb, high-protein diet, which I'm not low-carb, I am no-carb. So that's probably not something they expect. And it doesn't indicate a problem. Monitoring this over time will be wise, right? So I'm going to watch that, which is interesting because I don't eat sugar, so I'm curious what the glucose is. I did ask it. Let me make sure I put my notes in there. So I'm going to ask it, go back on glucose as well. Okay. I think, okay, then there was, well, okay. Let me go back to the video side of it. So I've got a CBC with differential slash platelet report. Everything in here is normal, so I'm not going to go through all the definitions. Everything in here is fine. There isn't anything out of whack. So I guess the good part is nothing's out of whack eating the way I'm eating. Then I did ask it some of these other numbers, which I had no idea what they were. So I got neutrophils and lymphs and monocytes and EOS and Bezos. So anyway, I'll go back and talk about those in a moment. Okay, so and they have some ranges in there, and it all says normal, but I don't even know what those things are. All right, so I'm going to slide down to the glucose. Yeah, here we go. So my glucose was on the higher end. I said fine. So there's a measurement BUN, and then there's another one. I have a hard time pronouncing this. I want to say creatine. It's not creatine. It's creatinine. Creatinine? Something like that. I don't know. And it's normal too. But when you put this ratio together, it's moderately high. So it was 23. And so I said, hey, what about this? And they're like, hey, let me actually see if I can find it. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. So your bun to creatinine ratio is elevated at 23. Normal is 9 to 20, so I'm above it. And it says, hey, your high protein intake is going to increase your bun. Plus hydration. So I told it, I was like, look, I went and did CrossFit before I did the blood draw, like an hour beforehand. I did drink water, but maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then it was like, yeah, you're kind of a dumbass. It says you should fast and rest. The part where you're supposed to rest, you shouldn't have done anything. So I didn't, maybe I knew that and they said it and I was just like, whatever, I'm going to do some CrossFit because I'm immortal. I don't know. So it said, I recommend that next time, dumbass, you don't do that. You just drink water and go and get your blood drawn. I'm like, all right, totally fine. I'll do that. I think I don't know. I think I had to coach and then I worked out and then I had another hour to spare and then I just like sat around rolling out and drinking water. So next time I won't do that. So is it high? Is it a ratio? It said, nah, I wouldn't worry about it. Everything else is looking good. Okay, so I'm going to move on. This is a weird one. Sodium, 138. My other number was like, I think 150. So my sodium has dropped even though I'm drinking and eating a shit ton of sodium, which is fascinating to me. So something doesn't make sense. I didn't ask it the question on that. I should have, but whatever. So potassium, chloride, all these numbers are good. My carbon dioxide total is fine. They did the calcium test is good. Protein, which is normal. I feel like my protein should be off the damn charts, but it's 6.6, whatever. There's other measurements in here that I don't know what they are, but everything's in the normal. So if you're watching, you see all these going by, whatever. Another one that they talk about a lot, like, hey, are you very basic? Or are you acidic? So your alkaline profile right now says I'm sitting smack dab in the middle of normal. And then, so my alt, I did come back. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. So my alt, I don't know, SGPT is a little elevated. So I said, hey, what is that? So apparently it's a liver enzyme. And I asked it, hey, what's the big deal in that? What, should I be worried about it? It said, look, exercise impact. Working out before the blood draw may have temporarily raised your alt, increasing your muscle breakdown and liver activity. So I won't work out next time, right? It said mild elevation isn't concerning, but rest before your blood draw next time, dumbass. It didn't say dumbass because it's too nice to me, but it would have. So it said, basically with all the other stuff and the other numbers that I wouldn't be concerned about anything on your liver. So very cool. I did do a urine test. All that came back totally fine. Nothing interesting to go in there. I mean, everything was totally fine. So yay. I love that. What else was there? Okay, so this is the basic lipid panel. Would have said, dude, you're in trouble. Your cholesterol is jacked. Now, what you could have done is, I think it's triglycerides divided by HDL. If it's below 2, you're good. Mine would have been somewhere like, let's see, that divided by that would have been like 0.9. So yeah, it would have been below. Yeah, if you look at this, it's flagging me for, testosterone 483. Interestingly, when I was up before, I did this before, it was like 850. Let me actually go see if I can find that. Very fascinating. Yeah, there it is on the top of this. So last time I was 805 for my testosterone, which typically I'm like below 400. And then I did that experiment. You'd have to go back and listen to the podcast or watch the videos where I went off and on caffeine to see if it affected it. Because basically the only thing I picked up over that 2 weeks to stay home was to drink more or to drink coffee. I've never drank coffee before, so I've been getting a massive dose of caffeine. And That's the only thing I changed. I eat very regular, very regiment, very boring, as my family says. And that was the only thing I changed. Anyway, go listen to that podcast. I don't know if it'll do the same thing for you. Caffeine doesn't do to me what it does to most people, so it could just be that I'm a weirdo. I can drink coffee and go straight to sleep. It's totally fine. Anyway, somebody said something about, what was it? If you're like ADHD or hyper whatever and you drink caffeine, it actually mellows you out. I don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but whatever. I did a test and my testosterone went up. So I'm at 483, so call it 500. And I'm 50 years old, so that's pretty high for this old dude. Anyway, let me go back to the other guys. So what else in here that was interesting? Oh, that was it. That's the end of the test. Oh, and there's this ApoB. So apolipoprotein, apolipoprotein B. So I did ask, what is that and why is it elevated? So it said it's a number of LDL particles in your blood. It says, however, since your LDL particles are large, you're fine. That's basically the summary of that. All right, other key notes. It said increase your hydration, so I did do that. I'm going to drink more water. I know I need to drink more. And avoid exercise before my blood draw. I asked it, what else could I do to, like, what other tests I could run? So I'm going to show you some of the other tests I said I should run. I got it all pulled up on AnyLabs, and I think it's like $2,000 in lab work. I bet I'm going to go through it and see which lab draws, like, overlap, because I ordered everything. And I didn't actually order anything. I just have it on the cart, but I think it's funny. So it does say that I should add a high sensitivity C reactive protein, so HSCRP for inflammation, which is interesting. All this information came back and said I'm very not inflamed, which is cool because they're going to say, hey, maybe meat is an inflammatory way to eat. And apparently it's not. And I knew that. Well, I've heard that, and so it's true in me. It said I would also order an LPA, so it's an advanced cardiovascular insight, and fasting insulin, which I thought I did that, but I don't know, maybe I need to order that one again. Okay, so I did ask it, hey, give me some more information. Why is cholesterol not a big deal? And it's pretty much what I just told you there. It's the LDL large versus small. So you need to order that extra test to see what that is. And then, let's see. Oh, this was a fascinating one. So, okay, so why would mine be so high? Like 2,000 seems to be obscene according to their normal measurements. And so it says, for you, with a high HDL and a low triglycerides and mostly large LDL, your cholesterol supports energy, cellular repair, hormone production, and an immune function. So I did ask it, okay, so based on what I eat and I'm not feeling sick and all that and the other numbers, what would you say? And he's like, it said, well, you're probably not sick because those other numbers aren't out of whack. It was one of the ones that I said, I don't know what these are, but they were within range. It said, you're not fighting anything. So because you don't have carbs, your energy system is fat. And the only way to get that fat around is through cholesterol. So you're going to have more cholesterol to have energy. And I will say this. When I got into the lower, like maybe, I guess you would say that like the 100 or less carbs a day eating style for the last 15 years, when I started it, it was kind of tough. And I felt weak at the beginning. Same thing happened when I went on this extreme one. I felt weaker at the beginning. Now, because I work out with people and I time and track everything, I knew that I was fine. I just felt weird. So, for example, if we were doing, I don't know, a 5K run, after the first minute, I felt like I had an extra 20 pounds on me, but I'm running right next to Timmy, who I always run next to. So I'm like, well, I feel weird, but I'm able to do what I think I should be able to do. So feelings, well, feelings are real. Men, don't forget that. But feelings aren't real. In this case, the feeling was false. I am not slower or worse off. I am better. And I'm doing okay, right? It just feels weird. So maybe sometimes don't trust your feelings, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so there's an energy system, so I have to have that. Now, my hormone production, my testosterone is up, so there is something there, right? So there's two things. Cellular repair, I do a lot of CrossFit, so it said because you probably did that right then as well, you probably had an extra production of it, but because of CrossFit, which has a lot of repair functionality going on, you are also probably needing a lot of cholesterol. So I thought that's interesting. It knew to kind of like pull that kind of junk out there. Is it true? I don't know. It's just me and ChatGPT. I wouldn't trust me because I, again, am an unfrozen caveman lawyer. Okay, so yeah, it says energy intense workouts. So CrossFit's going to do that, muscle repair, and hormone production. So that's basically what it said for me. And to better understand cholesterol, let's see. It said, is there anything like you could measure free testosterone, which I need to pull that one up, and checks oxidative stress markers. And then it also re-mentioned the 2 tests I'd already mentioned. Okay, so then I asked it about, this is these things that I had no idea what they were. This, no, that's a urine. Let's see. It's still urine. Thank you for my pee. It was normal. They did find Chuck Norris in my pee because, not good. Okay, here it is. So I can't even pronounce some of these. Neotrophils and the lymphs, monocretes, all that. It said basically everything's normal, don't worry about it. And but I thought it was interesting because it does say like, hey, these are indicators of bad stuff happening in your body and all your stuff is super ass low, so you're totally cool. Which I find fascinating because I do CrossFit and I eat kind of weird. So I thought, I don't know, something might be wrong. But everything was coolio. All right, I'm going to go back through some of the things so I can, and then I'm going to go through this stuff that I eat. So just give me a moment. I'm going to pause you guys while I find this stuff and clear my throat and drink some coffee, Charles. Okay, here was the first one. It was the insulin score LP-IR. So your score is 44, which is also in the healthy range. So they mark 45 or above is going to be, hey, flag that thing. So it says a low score reflects your body's insulin sensitivity, which is ideal, especially as insulin resistance can be a concern for a high carb diet. So I thought that was interesting. I find it weird that I have a high insulin response because I don't eat sugar. I don't eat processed food. So anyway, it says, your readings are stable and don't indicate any issue with insulin or glucose. In fact, they're favorable for your diet approach. There's no need to adjust anything. Just keep an eye on it. Okay. So thank you. What else did I have on there? It was the glucose. I think I just read that one too. Let me go find that to be sure. Yeah, so basically it said the same thing. Your fasting glucose, 94. It's like on the higher side, but it's 70 to 99 was the marker or the range. And it said, especially on a high protein, low carb diet where glucose can sometimes run slightly lower, there's no indication of blood sugar dysregulation here. So again, I just find it weird. Like, I guess I should ask that question. Let me go ahead and let me type that in and see what it says. Okay, so I basically just typed in, why are those two things, glucose and LPIR, on the higher end if I don't eat sugar, if I eat this way, right? A carnivore or lion, whatever. So it's given me some interesting information. Let me read it first to myself so I don't butcher this as I tell you, and I can tell you the summaries. Okay, fascinating. So I guess I knew this, but I forgot to put it together. So your body will produce glucose because some of the processes in your body needs it. Since I don't intake it, it's got to produce it. And then it says, because I am on this no carb diet, then my body has adapted to needing to produce this, right? So it says on the LPIR score, because my body has adapted to burn fat and not carbs, I'm then having to produce this stuff on my own. So two things went wrong, or not wrong, but could be the catalyst for this. One, I don't eat this stuff. And two, because I'm working out a lot and doing CrossFit, I need energy. So it's, it gives me fat to burn, right? So it's got to transport that and create it. Okay, yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, it says intense exercise like CrossFit is doing this to you. So, which can stimulate your cortisol. Let's see, fasting and cortisol. So I did fast beforehand, so it might have been part of the problem. So I needed to do the fasting bit because I had another test, and some of it's like you have to fast to do this test. So I did. Maybe doing a non-fasting blood work would be wise as well. Okay, so it summarizes it and says, yeah, next time don't exercise beforehand, but it's probably because you're doing CrossFit and eating just protein, and your body has adapted to that. So I might be just on the higher end, and it would be interesting. This is why I guess I went on through YouTube to figure out what other people like me are doing, because the ranges that they put up here are like, these are normal ranges that we want to see, but it's also with the normal like Americans and stuff. So I'm abnormal. It's like when we put in our measurements for a workout in the CrossFit world. So if I'm doing, I don't know, let's say we do a 5K in the CrossFit world and we put that number in there and we see that, oh, my CrossFit time isn't that great compared to other CrossFitters. Yeah, but compared to the rest of the world, we are killing it. So the comparison is against other people who are really like fit, right? So anyway, I think it's tough on that side. So anyway, here are some of the tests it said that I should add in there. I'm gonna, oops, why is that not working? I'm gonna tell you what they are. Well, I'm not gonna tell you. You can look. Well, I should tell you. You can see this. It basically says I should do some advanced lipid testing, some inflammatory marker testing, insulin sensitivity and blood sugar control, hormone panel, vitamin and mineral status. I do want to see that because potentially I'm becoming malnutrient. I didn't test any of that, so I need to figure that one out. Kidney function, hydration, and gut health. So a stool sample. So I'm like, I could probably do those. There's a lot of stuff. All right. I promised you I would go through what I'm actually eating. So this is what part's going to be in there. And here we go. So yeah, it's typically the lion diet, but I would say it's not lion diet strict. So it's more carnivore because we've added some things. And really, the why in which you do this. So I'm doing some food work with Alec and Brady. And if you understand your why, and I've told them this, figure out your why, and it's easier to stick to your guns. So the why that I'm doing this particular diet is Evan has to do this. He can't eat anything else without throwing it up or having problems on the backside. Meat has been the only thing that he's been able to eat and be okay with. And he was losing weight. So essentially, if you lose too much weight, you die. I want my son to live, and him doing this by himself would suck. So I said, let me put on the shackles as well and do this with you. It just turns out that it's really good for you, apparently, or at least for me. And I actually enjoy it. He doesn't really enjoy it, but I actually enjoy eating this way. So that's why I am doing it. Will I do this forever? Originally I'm just doing whatever he's doing. So, 2 data points is better than 1 data point. But I actually think I'll probably do this forever now. Okay, so I do use these salt packs, this LMNT, mostly because it's convenient. I thought maybe it's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Is that the correct ratio? I don't even know. I didn't even look it up. I said, whatever, they have packets. I'm going to do a packet. Let's see how it goes. I do the raw unflavored because I don't do other stuff, and they always put some sort of sweetener, sugar, or whatever in there. I don't want any of that. I just want the packet. So I'm doing that. I put it in one of these little thermoses. I don't know. It's a big glass thermos. I fill it up. I put the salt in, fill it up, shake it, and I drink that. I am now trying to drink one of those before I do anything because it said I should hydrate more. So I'm going to hydrate more. Next thing is I have found that I like New York strips the best. So at Publix, I get the Greenwise. Now, it's weird. They said that they haven't seen any difference in if you're eating like organically, awesomely, whatever meat versus you're just eating meat. So I don't know if it matters. They're like, it doesn't possibly matter. You just make sure you're eating meat. So I like New York strips. I don't know. It seems to have the proper amount of fat for me. Ribeyes are like too fatty, but other types of steak are not fatty enough. So I found myself craving the fat, but not too much fat. So anyway, New York strips. And I usually eat 2 of them at a time. I'm trying to reduce that because I realized I was eating like 4,000 calories a day. Actually, let me pull that up. Okay, so pulling back up my net diary when I did some tracking with Evan last weekend, it said I was eating 4,100 calories. I was like, okay, that's probably too much. Again, I've lost weight doing this, but I thought, I don't know, that's probably too much. Let me drop that puppy back a bit. Oh man, I love technology. I just paused you guys for like 30 minutes. So anyway, I was eating a lot of calories, so I'm trying to drop that back. Next thing I have found on all these eggs, I did a test run. I know what eggs should look like when you crack them open because I have chickens and they don't look like what you think they look like. So chickens, one, there's no salmonella out there on these guys. I have like degraded my chicken cleanliness protocol by so much. You'd be like incensed by what I do. I have yet to get sick from those things. I think the salmonella comes from the plants, the factories, not the chickens themselves. Anyway, okay, so the eggs that I get are these ones right here. It's the Happy Egg Co. Heritage Blue and Brown Large. So this Heritage free range just says Happy Egg on it. The packaging is blue, so it's easy to find. And when you crack them open, the yolk is very densely orange. And that's what you want. That means they're probably are free range. They're eating insects. They're eating protein, not just chicken feed. If you look at the other ones, if you buy like a normal, the egg that everyone would think of, like the ones you get at, I don't know, like Waffle House, the yolk is super yellow, and that's not what you want. Is it still okay? Sure. I would eat an egg over everything else, most likely, but that heritage one is the coloring that you want. I bought all the different types, and I kept a track on a Post-it note which one had the best orange color, and it's that Happy Egg Heritage Free Range. Okay, so then the goat cheese. I don't do anything fancy here. There's this large packet, this 8-ounce Publix goat cheese is what I get. It's just a large tube of goat cheese, and when you look at the ingredients, it's like cultured milk or cultured goat's milk, salt, and enzymes. I'm like, that's what I want. I want stuff with less stuff in it. Butter. I use this Amish country roll butter. So it's a big roll of butter. I used to do the Kerrygold. Then they said, hey, there's some stuff about that you may not like. So I'm off Kerrygold, and I'm trying this Amish roll butter. And so far, nobody's bitching about it. Nobody's saying, oh, they're lying about what's in there. It's just butter, right? So it's it's pasteurized cream and salt. I'm like, that's what I want. Stuff with nothing in it. So the salt that I use is this Redmond's Real Salt. Typically, I have a shaker, and then I buy a bigger pack and just keep refilling the one shaker. I also weirdly like the coarse salt. So there's one that they have that was it's like granules. It's large granules. That was not good. I like flakes. So if you can find a flake salt, that's a good one. So it breaks down easier, but it gives you a crunch on your steak. And then the coffee that I drink is not special. If I'm at Costco, I will pick up their Kirkland brand, and it's just a big bag of coffee. That's it. Right now, I went through all of that, and so what I'm using right now, let me go find it. Yeah, it's this one right here. So it's a bulletproof coffee, and it's just my wife had bought some bags of it, and she was doing the bulletproof with the MCT oil and all that stuff. And then she decided to go off of that. So she's just got a bunch of beans. And I'm like, well, I'll use it. I don't really care particularly what the coffee is. I just like it straight black, and it's fine for me. So I mentioned several times about beef bacon. And I've told you guys incorrectly where to get it almost every time. It's at Whole Foods or Whole Foods Market, which used to have a different name. Whole Foods was something else. Anyway. That's where you get the beef bacon. Beef bacon is by far the best thing. There's all these bees in there. The best thing you can eat. Man, this is great. I'll save all of the grease in a cup, in a coffee mug, and I'll just reuse that grease over and over and over. I can only eat a few of these without my stomach just feeling like it gets a little weird because it's just so awesome, I guess. But this doesn't last. When my wife makes it, everyone runs to the kitchen and they all steal it. She's like, only 2 pieces a piece, because people eat all of it, in one go. But I eat this and I save the grease, and beef bacon is the best thing you will ever find. Turkey bacon's okay. Pork bacon, I don't eat pork, so I don't eat pig. And I mean, there's nothing really, well, I sort of have stuff against it, but I don't care. Eat it if you want. I don't even know, would it count as a ruminant meat? I don't know. But this stuff, oh crap. I mean, you like steak? And like you're thinking, well, what's better than steak? Well, steak wrapped in bacon. Well, better than that is just the bacon that is the steak. This stuff is awesome. The other place, if you are local-ish to us, if you go to North Georgia Meat Company, you can buy everything straight from the butcher. And it's quite a drive. It's up in LJ. But on this map, you can see it's, let's see, you go up 75, then take a left on on 76. It's up that way. But what is that? Is that LJ? Yeah, it's basically outside of LJ. This is their website. It's ngmeat.com. And we go up there and buy stuff. The meat is fantastic. It's literally out in their fields that they process and bring it right here. They also make beef bacon. Oh man, it was good. So all of this stuff is delicious. You do have to drive a bit. It's going to be a little bit cheaper than normal. So it's worth the drive, but not really the quality is great too. So we went up there, bring 2 coolers, and just load up, and then throw the stuff in your freezer. What else do I have here? Oh, this is the AnyLabs tests. So all those tests that ChatGPT recommended was $2,000. I'm not going to buy all these tests, but I just put them in there to see what it was and what I think some of them are repeated. Like I think you could do the man test. Where is it on here? It's the comprehensive man test. Maybe I didn't actually grab it, but I think if I got that one, which is like $400, then it would have like the majority of these tests in it. And then there's the one that's outside of the range here is this Gut IQ Complete GI Microbiome Panel. And that's like $800. So I'm curious what's inside of that one. But I mean, I'm assuming it's poop in a bucket and give it to them and they'll do some analysis. But I'm curious. And I also want to know my minerals and vitamins because, again, that is something that I'm interested in. Can I get everything that I need out of just eating meat? I don't know. All right, so that's it. Wow, that went way longer than I anticipated. So 40 minutes of me explaining blood work and what I'm eating to you. Should you do this? Man, I would probably say no because really most of us can't handle like just eliminating and only eating these things. You just can't do it. It's like my tongue is addicted to sugar. I can't do it. Evan has a hard time doing it. I think I have an easy time doing this because I want to do it for him, but also I've been off of sugar and grains for a very long time, so that addictive quality was already gone. It's gotten so interesting with that whole process of 15, 16 years, whatever it's been, of not eating that stuff, that sometimes meat tastes sweet. And I asked Evan, like, hey, does that taste sweet to you? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, that's weird. It does to me. So your tongue, you could actually reteach it. It just takes a lot of time. And I don't know. I just don't. Do you need to? Probably not. Do you want to? Probably not. Is it good for you? I think so, but I don't know. It's just extreme. And my biggest thing is we had 2 new people come to the gym yesterday. Met them over there, and they were asking. They want to change their lifestyle. And one, Manisha, she's a data scientist. Well, that's her current job, data analysis, data scientist. And I said, look, we started talking data. I'm like, seriously, I've been doing this for 17 years. The data points say if you just simply show up and even half-ass it and adjust your diet a teeny bit, you are going to live a very long time. You're going to be harder to kill, for sure. My data points spell this out clearly. You just have to change some things. So do you need to eat this way? No, I don't think so. But I do think you need to stop eating at like fast food. I think if it's got a drive-through window, you should eat there sparingly. Like it's vacation. Go have entertainment sometimes, but not all the time. So if you're going to Chick-fil-A every day, that's probably wrong. If you're buying coffee from Starbucks with all the crap in it, that's probably wrong too, right? If you can't go a day without eating sugar, I don't know. I mean, I think you're probably addicted to it. You should probably figure out a way to not be so addicted, right? That's a whole other problem. Guys, if you need help, I am here for you. I have thrown this out for months now, and I'm going to make these 2 claims and promises, or whatever they are, for you too. 1, if you are somebody that's a friend of a friend here at the gym, we're going to give you a month for free. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's what we're going to give you. There's no cost, but I'm going to ask you for some gives as well to make you commit, right? So no cost. Come, we will help you out if you're a friend of somebody in the gym. If you're not, well, come talk to me. We'll figure something out. But I'm trying to give my members a benefit to being a member, and that is the gift of health. You love these people. Let me help you. How can I help you? Well, I can remove the cost and get them going, and then it's up to you, right? So this stuff works. CrossFit definitely works. So that's one thing. The next is if you will track your food for 2 weeks, I will help you in that food side for free. I want you to be healthy and fit. No, I don't really enjoy helping people in their nutrition because I'm just stop eating like a dumbass. That's it. But I will. If you put in the effort, show me, track your stuff, then I will give you my insight for free. If you want to pay for it, hell yeah, you can do that too. It's $1,000 an hour because I'm expensive. Or I'll give you my time for free because I love you and I want you to adjust your diet some. And if you show me you'll put in the work, I will put in the work for you too. Yes, I want profit. Passion without profit ruins the passion. You need profit. But I'm willing to give you some insight if you put in some work. If you want more than that, we'll discuss another option, right? If you come and half-ass this, come 3 days a week, 4 days a week, listen to the coach, half-ass the workouts for a year, adjust your diet a tiny bit. If you are not fitter a year from now, I'll double your money back. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. You're going to get fit. And this is the weird thing. I know it's true. You know it's true. And yet you hesitate. You're like, oh, I don't know. Good grief. If you want to be there for your grandkids, you need to start doing something. If you're 50 and you're like, I haven't done anything, it's not too late. If you're 70, it's kind of too late. You could do something, but you've already lived 70 years of bullshit, and it's hard to undo 70 years of bullshit. If you're 50, it's really not too late. If you're younger than that, you just became a dad or mom, this is a great time to start doing something. You need to put into yourself so that you can give back to your family. As my wife said, she heard somebody say this, and it really stuck with her. It's super selfish to not do anything. You're going to make your loved ones take care of you and wipe your ass rather than invest in yourself, be healthy and fit. I don't know. Guys, I say this stuff all the time. I'm living what I'm telling you. It's not complicated. It's just not easy. It is fun, though, especially when you have people to go along with you. So if you're in the local area, join us, CrossFit Garage here in Woodstock, Georgia. If you are not local, then Garage Fitness Online, we will help you there. If you just want to listen and learn, it's our episodes on YouTube. You look for me at Andy McCann 42. If you're going for audio only, then the podcast is Fitness, Food, and Finance. You can find us there. I definitely want to help you. I don't want you to think you're on your own. Join our group. Be part of the cult. We're going to do some other fun stuff, and I'll mention that later on. But this will be my Tuesday podcast to you guys. I'll do a gym happening one as well after this. All right, y'all take care.